Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at the Lego Architecture New York City Skyline set. This is set number 21028. It has 598 pieces and I paid $60 for this set. Now, I don't think I've really featured many architecture sets on my channel yet. I did show the World of Wonders kind of set, and I also showed a couple other skylines when I did their corresponding postcards. And I do have the New York postcard that I will be doing a video on in the near future. But I wanted to build this first so that when I build the postcard, I can compare them. So in this video, I'm going to open this up and put this together and then give my thoughts on it. And while I build, I will speed the video up and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy! Okay, so that is this Lego Architecture New York City Skyline. I will flip the camera around quickly just so we can see a slightly different view of this before I talk about it totally. But this is good. So this is kind of what it looks like. I believe it says that it is how many inches wide? It looks like we've got 10 inches wide and about 10 inches tall. So from here to here is about 10 inches, and from bottom to top, that is about 10 inches as well. So it's small-ish. The weight is very uneven, and that's okay. I mean, if it represents what it needs to represent, that's all right. But this felt very similar to other architecture builds I have done, with some differences here, and I'm happy to talk about them. So the base is about what you would expect from an architecture base. The New York City plaque here, or the label, that is a print, which is good. Let me see if we can get a closer view on some of this stuff. That is a print. Whoops. So this is gonna be a little difficult for me. But printed piece there, and nice. I think a lot of these Skyline ones are prints, but I'm not 100% positive. I'd have to look at my Paris one and my London one and my Singapore one to really know. That's gonna keep happening, so that's not connected very well. Over here on one side we have a small, I don't know, I think this is the Statue of Liberty. So we use some translucent there to kind of be like water, and maybe this is Ellis Island. Very small compared to all the other buildings. Then after that we have the Empire State Building, I believe. This is the Empire State Building, and that was an interesting build. I'm going to pop off part of it so we can look at this. And it's one of the things that I've come to expect from a architecture set is, a lot of similar pieces, a lot of similar colors. So as you can see, this is all tan essentially, and we get a bunch of these kind of vented tiles there, or the slotted or grated tiles all up and down, and the shape of this is pretty nice. I like how it tapers a little bit and then straightens out, and it's all pretty good. And like many architecture sets, it's a lot of small pieces, and sometimes you want to work a little hard to make sure things are straight and touching and filling in any gaps that you might see. And then we have the antenna on the top, and I really liked how that came together. The next one is the Chrysler building, I believe. That is this white one here. I think it's the Chrysler building with the Chrysler kind of crown at the top of it, and I will pop off some of that as well. See if I can do this easily. Nice. So this one is essentially just white and clear. A lot of 1x2 clear plates to kind of make up the windows, I think, and that's good. And then just white, and then as it goes up we use different jumpers and different stuff to slim this down. Up at the top we get kind of this, like, I've been calling this kind of gunmetal, but it's like a grayish but kind of a metallic gray at the top, and same for these pieces up here going up. I wish this cylinder in there was that as well, that brick, but I didn't see one in here, so I guess that's how it's supposed to be, but it would have been nice if that was the same color as these cones, these pieces, and this cone up here. And actually same for this bar element, but maybe that's how it's supposed to look. Very simple to put this together. Tiny parts, repetition, very, very nice. I like that about architecture sets, so I'm happy with that. The next one is a great kind of version. It's I think it's called the Flatiron building. So it's on like a corner where a street is going this way and a street is going very sharply this way. And so it's just a kind of triangle shaped building. And I really like how these kind of stud spots on these angled, modified plates there kind of give the impression of windows or something. And then we have all these rounded 1x1 or studs there. all the way up. And I believe this is one, and the Empire State Building is one that Lego Architecture has done like a bigger size of, but this is a pretty good interpretation of it. And it's just like plates, and nice. I think it works well, and it goes on there very easily. And then the last one, the tallest one, I believe is the Freedom 1 tower, this is the one that is roughly 10 inches. This is one that actually has kind of more interesting building techniques. I mean, has some, studs on the side, bricks, and then these vented pieces. This one uses just a lot of plates and jumpers. This one uses kind of those angle plates there. But this one, as it goes up, we have some studs on the side at the bottom, but the way it's connected to the base is by clipping in here, which is unique compared to the other ones, which just stud down. So it's clipped on those bars down there. And we have some tile going around. Then as we move up to this section, the construction on the inside is using some like 1x1 yellow Technic bricks, or bricks with a hole, like a Technic hole in them. And we put those Technic kind of pin stud pieces in there. Put a bunch of those in, work your way up, and this kind of bluish, greenish, tealish kind of color, gray. It's not quite like it's not the same as like a light bluish gray or a dark bluish gray, but it feels more blue to me than those. But then that goes up, and we put some plates on the side. Then this was really interesting. In the middle of this, in the core, there's a piece that I was not familiar with. I don't know what it's used for, but it clips in, or it goes into one of these with a kind of bar, and then it just studs down and then goes up in the core of this. And then when you build this section, it's 4 of these same kind of constructions with these slopes here and the tile and a plate underneath, and they just wrap around some studs on the side, 1x1s. And that was pretty interesting. And then that bar element that comes down fits into that core piece that's in here. And at the top, we get more studs on the side, and then an antenna. And the shape of this is quite nice. So this is good. I think I've done a few of these architecture skylines. I've done a few of these. I've done Singapore, I've done Paris, I've done London. And I plan on getting Tokyo if I can find it, and a few other ones if I can find them. I would like to find like Vegas and if Seattle, I think, might have had one too. And there's a lot of cities that have had these. But of the ones I've done, between Paris, London, and Singapore, this one is kind of the most basic, I think. Singapore had some really interesting colors and building designs and shapes that were used, so you had to be a little more creative. At least for London, it had, like, you do the Trafalgar Square and the Big Ben and the Eye, I believe they call it, that big Ferris wheel, and some other stuff on there, which adds an interesting element to it. And in Paris, you have the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre and the Arch, or the Arc. This one's great. These are iconic buildings. It represents New York City pretty well, I think, as far as the skyline goes. These are what you might see. But the least interesting build, it's repetitive. It's like a lot of architecture builds. Nothing too innovative in here. No crazy unique pieces or colors. Just a lot of them. And, the end effect is quite good, but it's not necessarily my favorite architecture set I've built. And I do know, like, I recently did a Taj Mahal, a kind of the architecture size, not the creator or creator expert one from back in the day. And that one had a lot of like 1x1 tiles to put over it, and a lot of like making 4 of the same thing. But for whatever reason, that one was more interesting to me than this one is. This one felt a little uninteresting and simple, and again, kind of another set I think I could look at and build on my own without instructions. Maybe I'll have to try that someday. So this one's okay. As far as the value, these architecture sets are kind of so-so on value usually. If you look at price per piece, this one's $60, 598 pieces, so almost 10 cents a piece. It's just essentially all of these pieces are quite small, 1x1s, 1x2s, some 2x2s. There's a couple longer plates in the base, but a lot of small pieces. So I don't think the 10 cents per piece rule really applies here. So these sets do have a premium. They're adult oriented, they're display focused, and that's true of all of them. I've felt that way about other Skylines I've done, that the price per piece doesn't make sense, but I think they look great at the end, and they're nice to have. And it's again another thing that, like botanicals and like some other stuff, I think people who aren't into Lego could build this very easily and enjoy it and to display it, especially if they have a particular affinity for whatever Skyline they are reproducing in Lego form. This one's so-so for me. I don't think this feels like $60 to me. I think $60 on another set in a different theme would net me a lot more potential play, a lot more display value, and just like more substance. Even like a $60, for example, botanical set, a lot more color and just a lot more fun and interesting pieces. But I think if you're going to look at the New York skyline, this is kind of what you would expect. So it doesn't have crazy, weirdly shaped buildings necessarily, and it doesn't have, a lot of pops of color. It's a gray and a concrete jungle and tan and whatever else. So it represents that well. I'm just not the hugest fan of it. It's very fine, but in line with other display sets. I think $50 would be better. I think $40 would be better. You know what? It'd be better if Lego was free, but it's not. So I think I would have liked to have gotten this on sale maybe, or if they ever go on sale. And I don't know if some people use architecture sets to invest. Again, I'm not really in tune with that. That's not really my thing. But this was on back order when I ordered it, so it took a while to get here. So it must be somewhat popular, reasonably popular, and there's a lot of people in New York City, and so maybe that's why. But there's also people like me. I've been to New York City before, just once. I spent a couple weeks there, and it was nice, but I like to do architecture sets, and I have a collection of display Lego that I like to have, and now I get to have this and compare it to this New York postcard set, and I'm really excited about that. This has more color. Does have some stickers, it looks like. Does have, things are a different scale, a little more cartoony. This one might be more realistic in its scale, I bet. But I'm looking forward to putting this together and then seeing how these all compare. And I don't know. I know we have a maybe Brooklyn Bridge here, and we have the Empire State Building and the Statue of Liberty. I don't know what this building is supposed to be, if this is supposed to be the Chrysler or One World or yeah, I think that's what it's called. Or whatever. This might be a different building, but I will look into it, and maybe the postcard will tell me. So I will be doing a video for this set in the future. And as far as the Skyline goes, it's very fine. I guess I can show the extra pieces. Nothing too crazy about what you would expect. 1x1 plates, tiles, Technic pin. but we do get an extra of the kind of micro figure here, the statuette or whatever. So we get an extra of those in kind of an interesting color. I can't tell if that's like sand green or I don't know what that is. I know like the Statue of Liberty is bronze, but then rusted in a weird kind of green way, I think. So I think that's some sort of green, but other than that, gray, tan, normal stuff. So at the end of the day, this is fine. I don't think, I guess this one's rated at 12 plus. Yeah, this is an easy build. There's no reason for this to be 18 plus, even though those are just guidelines anyway, and there are plenty of 18 plus sets that are difficult for people of all ages, and there's plenty of 18 plus sets that are easy for people of all ages, and there are plenty of sets that are rated, younger than 18 as the recommended age that are quite difficult. So it's just kind of all a matter of perspective there. This is fine. I'm a little disappointed, but this is what I expected, so that's okay. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like, and if you like the other videos on my channel, consider subscribing to it so you can stay up to date on all the LEGO videos I will be doing here in the future, including a look at that LEGO Creator New York City postcard video that will be coming up soon, in which I will build that and then talk about it, and then I will compare it to this a little bit, and I'm looking forward to that. And if you're looking forward to that, subscribe so you don't miss it. And until next time, thanks. Bye.